so we are now in session. I do have an announcement. At our last meeting, we talked about Margaret Scarsdale, Representative Scarsdale, maybe attending a meeting. I did reach out to Senator Cronin and Representative Kushmerek. I did not hear back from Senator Cronin, but I will reach out to Beth Walsh because she's always been very receptive. I did hear back from Representative Kushmerek's office, and they are entertaining the idea, and they will get back to us to schedule a meeting that they can attend. So, very excited about that. Okay, do we have any public comment from our vast public attendance out there? Seeing none. Do we have any board comment?
So I've had this marked on the warrant, I didn't bring it. And I don't know if it was discussed previously, but there is a warrant article about about distributing the warrants going forward electronically. I didn't know if the Council on Aging wanted to discuss that. Just sort of public comment, but it's not on the agenda. Or if I had thoughts on that, since it's being talked about tonight in town. It's being voted on town meeting, so.
So they will not mail any of them?
Well, I don't really want to flag it. I don't know if there's going to be a presentation or a discussion about it, but I wanted to make people aware of it. And they're going to send a postcard, I think, to tell you that the warrant is available. But then you'll have to
Call and ask
go
for it.
online to get it, and I just don't know that that's going to get to everybody.
No,
I think it's a bad
no,
idea.
there's so many.
Yes.
Yeah.
very good.
So many seniors don't have, the
Right.
ability to download it or even print it or do anything, and they're the ones that we want to keep informed.
Yeah. Right. So I did want to flag that.
Thank you, Lou. So that is something that has been talked about in the select board meetings, not extensively. They just talked, we think this is a good idea. And the town manager put together the proposal. We had a FinCom meeting last week, and my feeling is, and there were other members of the FinCom, I believe the Finance Committee at the end did not recommend it for approval. And that was one of the no votes, because I feel like this is a big transition, and if you're going to do the transition, we need to have more public engagement. And what is being presented is a solution. It doesn't mean is the solution, because this was a solution presented by the town manager only. And usually when we have these big transitions in town, we go through a very public process, and it could be that the outcome might be slightly different than what's currently proposed. For example, a fellow Finance Committee member suggested, well, can they at least send postcard with a quick description of the articles? And that's not what's being proposed. There's so many other things that could be changed. I also talked with the select board member. They said, well, we can make a policy about these things. I'm like, how about we do all these things, establish as the new bylaw, and then make these change versus remove from the public?
One of the things I think I listened to, during one of the selectmen's meeting was that part of the problem is that when those things get mailed out, they find most of them in the trash at the post office, and it's like people just throw them away, And
But we send them for the people that use them, not for the people that don't use them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not, we have almost a $49 million budget. I believe, the town manager wasn't in the last FinCom meeting, I believe this expense is $6,000. It's not a big change to our budget. We have bigger problems in our budget. To be honest, that I have heard about it, that is the biggest compelled reason for the employee side, is that it puts them under greater deadline, more strict deadlines. And my thought to it is, if we're doing this change because of inconvenience to employees, and and we're discussing things past the deadline that's going to be voted on, maybe we should defer to the next town meeting. We have town meetings twice a year. It's, I think any changes we make should be well thought out with time, and it kind of highlights how this one also has had public input.
Maybe they could have printed out copies here at Town Hall, places that people go, available. That would be a partial solution. It wouldn't be a solution, because I really feel like a lot of these people don't go out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we
And that's gonna
serve
be the
only
problem.
half of the seniors in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a balancing of interests, right? I mean, you have that whole thing with the committees being up against the deadlines, and I can appreciate that, for sure. But, and you have the cost of it, and you have wasting a ton of paper, which I'm not a big fan of. I try to be mindful of that type of thing. But on the other hand, on the other side of this whole thing, you have the rights of citizens to be informed and get the information they need. So you're balancing, effectively, and I don't want to be too dramatic about it, but not intending to, but effectively disenfranchising some people from coming to town meeting and voting on things in an informed manner. So
Most financial institutions are offering that you can opt out of paper and request electronic.
yeah,
I don't know how hard of a software change that would be,
and just mail the ones to people that
that
don't.
did not opt in.
Yeah,
That might cut some of the cost.
yeah.
Again, those would be great things to discuss during public hearings about making
Yeah.
these changes and come with a solution that truly represents.
Well, I don't know what it would involve to do that. I know
I think-
anything that's financially done now, everybody's or going to opt out, but that may not be an easy solution either.
No, it is. Everything can be worked. I don't like it. I don't like the timeline of it. I don't like the reasoning because I do feel like, as Lou said, this franchising citizens, I'm the kind of person who I think we should do more to engage citizens in the last year.
Could we have a motion from the council saying that we're not in support of it at the current time or at the current means?
I don't think we can take an actual action like that because it wasn't on the agenda. I just brought it up in public
Oh,
comment.
okay.
So, I think if we got, depending on what the dynamic is tonight, I'm gonna get up and maybe say something about it like that. But if people can make it to town meeting and vote their preference, that helps.
It's not on a vote tonight though, is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on tonight. That's why.
So will this fall under agenda items not known to the chair 48 hours in advance?
Maybe, but we've already, we know we're watched very, very closely, so we want to make sure we do it right, so. I think if people are able to, and, to the extent that other people speak to it, if they already speak to it, I won't get up necessarily, but I may get up and voice these concerns. Maybe you will as well. I know you like to keep very quiet at these meetings. I think that will make the impact that we wanted to make without necessarily taking. We don't necessarily need to take an official position here, but we could have people just sort of voice their thoughts, and I think we sort of got there. But so it's not an official vote, but it's an airing of personal opinions.
I think that the council is generally in support of your feeling. And without taking an official vote, I think that we
Definitely.
concur. So without an official vote, we would support you.
Yeah, there needs to be a whole lot more explanation of how we can serve everybody before that. I will be a big no on this one tonight.
And thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Any other board comment?
I have one. I was at UMass Memorial yesterday, and I don't know if seniors are aware of it, but if you have a handicapped parking sticker and you go to pay your thing, if you're paying regularly, it's $10, but if you have a sticker, it's only $4. So it's good to know for people, especially that have to go there often, and, it's kind of a big savings, so.
That's wonderful information.
Is there some way to get it out to the senior community?
We are.
Well,
Well,
I
maybe
think
in
if
the
you pull up
newsletter?
with a handicap
In the
placard, they
newsletter,
automatically.
Yeah, they do it right there.
Right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's great information.
Yeah.
Thank you. May I have board comment? Okay, moving on to minutes approval. Have you all had a chance to read your minutes? I have a motion to approve. So moved. Second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, it passed, and I'd like to thank Pauline for getting through the meeting. It was, the sound was a little muffled, and I appreciate your finding out what that problem was and fixing it, Pauline. Thank you so much. Okay, new business. Feedback on the bylaws. So we need to do that ASAP. And I think we have a copy of that from the last meeting.
I have a comment on that.
Okay, please do.
Our orientation packet,
Yes.
the draft version from May of 2023, there's a line through that. And
That's
then in
not
the,
the-
I
that's
know,
not
I
the
know,
bylaws,
and then in the final packet, it's not included. So I think we did, can we recommend they strike that?
Well, that, I think, what's in our packet is the,
Their bylaw.
no, I think what's in our packet is in, the, isn't it the town,
It says one of our charter bylaws, and it's
the
gone.
charter? That's the charter. I think this is something else, is it
Oh,
not?
okay. But we struck it from
We
our
did, we did.
orientation packet,
We
so
did the powers and duties.
it definitely should not be there anymore.
Well, that's what we need to discuss. Some of this, we are not, we are responsible to the select board in that we are appointed by the select board. And we do serve without compensation. That's true. Now, this business about it may appoint clerks and other employees, that's not true.
Well, I would, I mean, because it's not happening, I wouldn't say it's not true. I would say it's not happening. I think and I remember when Bob Bristol served on the charter committee, which is not a bylaw review committee, the intention is to have when I say government, meaning the people that are paid for to be here, and the volunteers to work together.
Right.
So this messy language has been left on purpose, so that there's a collaboration between the volunteer boards and government. And I don't think we should strike it because, there was a pull and push in the last hiring process. And I was able to use that quote, and I sent an email to Carter, and I said, I don't think I think you're a mess here to not include the Council on Age. Ultimately, we did get someone involved. So I see that to be the role of this kind of language. Because it doesn't say we're responsible, it says we participate. And we participate by being in an interview and conversing. And I think it's a better process for that.
It says we may appoint, and that's interesting because your point is well taken, because it's always been part of the COA to be part of the hiring process for our director, and as happened the last time, we were not part of the process. I think the language is such that we would need to fix that, is that we would be part of the process. Although, once the director is hired, it is the director's responsibility to hire her staff. Right. His or her, I should say, just because they've always been women. So it's interesting because the charter doesn't agree with the bylaws. So we had a chance to review the charter, and that's what's in our
That's
packet.
what's in our, okay, I didn't realize it
That's
was
the
different.
charter. And we were asked to review the charter.
The charter or the bylaw?
We were asked to review the charter.
Well,
And that's what's in our packet.
Yeah.
We were never asked to review the bylaws. We never saw the bylaws. We only saw the charter.
Well, the charter is not under review.
Right, right.
No, but
The
I
bylaws-
pointed out that we struck it from there. And
We
she's
struck
saying
it.
that wasn't the bylaws, that was the charter bylaws.
Yeah,
So
but we
this is two
should
different
not
things.
be making any change to the charter right now.
No, we were asked to review the charter, I think, a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
And we struck this paragraph from the charter. We had not seen the bylaws. This is the first time we're seeing the bylaws. So now we're asked to look at the bylaws.
Should they both match?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So, I believe we have to submit the comments by December 1st.
And this is the bottom.
This is the bylaws.
We have.
Right.
Okay.
This is the first time we are seeing the bylaws. What we were asked to do was the charter,
Okay.
and that's what's in our packet.
Okay, thanks for clarification, because I was getting very confused.
I know, I know. So, this is our chance to, and I don't know if they have to match. I wish Caesar were here. I don't know.
I think there is some flexibility on that timeline of December, because I feel like the information and I have questions. I don't know.
If December is hard and fast, then we don't have another meeting before doing that. It would be helpful if you could submit your comments by December 1st. I can get back to the town manager and see if we have the flexibility to have one more meeting.
You could just say that we have a conflict with one line, but don't have the exact wording for what we think
And
it
we
should
don't
be.
know, because Caesar's not here, if they have to match. I'm assuming not, because if they're sending it out to us to work on the bylaws, I'm assuming that they don't have to match the charter. That's my assumption, but we don't know.
To the extent that they don't contradict and.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So, shall we leave it that we get more information from the select board and the town manager? And I will get back to her.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think that's right. I mean, even just by doing that and taking action and flagging this and saying, does that hold our place? We don't actually have to come up with final language and approve that, what we want it to look like. Even probably by December 1st, right? We know we have a, like sort of when you do a warrant, when the deadline for the warrant is, you can put an article and still kind of tweak it after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I will contact,
Yeah, basically just a comment that we reviewed it, we have flagged something,
I'll contact.
we
town
have
manager.
changed the charter. Do we need them both to match?
And did
go
you
from
want
there.
to put something in about the participation in the appointment of
Yes.
the chair?
Yes. Does it have to match the charter?
the other thing, and I had mentioned this to you, Debbie, and I didn't do it, I meant to do it before this meeting, and I didn't remember until this morning, but I want to go back and watch the portion of this annual town meeting that discussed this warrant article. I don't, it could have been a very simple 45-second thing, or there could have been a protracted discussion on it. I think that'd be worth going back and seeing if this was part of, just to sort of glean the legislative intent of, how it unfolded at town meeting.
Right. Having been told by Carter that you were not to participate, Deb can attest that they had department heads there who couldn't answer questions that the candidates wanted answers. So it was kind of important that someone from the COA board be there. The department heads are important because they need to interact with the director, but they don't really know what happens. So I think it is important that someone from the board participate. So, all right, I will get back to town manager and to Caesar about that, see what the final vote on that is. All right. Festival of Trees is on here because I want to thank some people that have taken this by the horns and made some advances. Particularly Jane has been wonderful about this, Elena, Diane, Kathy, and I believe our tree is going to be constructed after this meeting. There's some materials over there, and our topic is songbirds?
Yeah.
Songbirds.
We might have one or two trees.
Yeah,
we'll
we
see.
might.
Or whichever one looks better.
So there are some materials over here in the next room that have been supplied by Jane, and I did some with Elena.
And you, sorry.
So we'll have a tree
Or two.
to participate in this
Is it too
one.
late to add one, Deb?
Are we up to 30 yet?
We're at 27,
Okay.
so keep it going.
27 trees?
Yeah.
27 trees.
Wow.
And we have, I believe, 15 raffle baskets.
Yeah,
Very good.
Just forest.
All right. So,
In regards to the festival, can I add one thing?
sure.
We also have a raffle going on for the beautiful blankets that are out there. And so I would urge anybody that wants a nice warm blanket for the, for the winter to come and check these out and maybe, bid on them or something. I
Where
don't
are
know.
they, in the lobby?
They're in the lobby. They've been there for a while, so.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect timing.
They are
The weather's
gorgeous.
been brutal.
And they're made by a resident, and she does a beautiful job.
Yes, it does. Okay, so also at our mini meeting, it came up that we might want to have a COA board Facebook page. Now, it's not totally redundant, and I think that any publicity is good publicity. We have an Eagle House supporters page, and we have, of course, the page that is the Eagle House, the Eagle House, the LAAC page. But sometimes we're doing things that could be publicized for us, as well as promoting everything that's going on here. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I would think it's always good to promote everything that goes on here. And sometimes there are things that we are doing. For example, the Caregiver Connection that can use some additional publicity. And we can take a picture of our wonderful tree and put it out there, for example, and that will promote the festival's trees as well as our participation in that. So how do you feel about having a Facebook page for the Council on Aging?
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Is that a good idea?
All right, as long as I don't have to do it.
Well, if nobody else wants to do it, I'll do it.
I'm just not capable.
Is anybody else expert in that? I'll do it if nobody else.
I can perhaps assist, although, as you know, I'm not really expert in Facebook. I don't do a lot of
Oh,
Facebook.
you're the fun one. Will you want to co-do it with me?
I can help you, yeah.
All right.
See what I did there. I will assist you.
I heard you. I heard you.
You will lead and I will
All right.
assist.
Okay, I just think,
And I guess you both have a sense of humor. Be good parents right there.
all right, so if you're all in favor of that, I think that there's no bad publicity in terms of getting the word out there. If it goes out on the Eagle House supporters page and our LAAC page and our COA page, so what? Inundate people with all the good stuff we do.
Yeah.
All
Good
right?
idea.
Okay. So who's going to help me with that? All right. Deborah, can you come to the microphone, please, and talk to us about the staffing updates? One sad one, I'm very upset.
Yeah, one of our beloved
van drivers has resigned, just because he didn't want to take the class again.
13 years in that same class.
I know.
Last year, I said, I'm not gonna do it again. And when you mentioned that the schedule's coming out, I thought.
He wrote a letter really quickly. So, thank you for your years of service. You are truly appreciated for everything you've done here, and you, like I said, I'm just glad you're staying as the board so that we still get to see you here and the residents too.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
Yes, you're
you.
not allowed to resign from the board.
No. You don't have a training class for the board, right?
Don't start. Please.
So that's, we had that change. And then, so we are advertising for a per diem driver. So if anybody knows anyone who would want to be on call. Right now, we do have Dave Gallagher and Kimber Moore, who are our van drivers. So like I said, but we could use somebody in case the two of them are out one day to fill in. So like I said, if you know anybody who is, retired or, looking for something else to do, it'd be on call for now. Eventually, it could be more, but we'll see how that works out. And then as far as the only other staffing we have right now is the kitchen. And that has been advertised for the last couple weeks. So that should be firming up soon. And we should, after a very long time, have a full-time meal site manager. So we're looking forward to that. And I just have to also give thanks to Pauline and Michelle, because they have basically covered this full-time position for 8-9 months. So it's been appreciated what they're doing as well. So
When the last time we spoke about the new site manager, you said that, there was some changes into the job description about things.
Yep, it's
That
so-
you were, shifted. I had asked, what is the plan? Is it that we're gonna have meals every day? And anyway, you didn't have a complete picture at the time. Do you have an updated plan?
yes and no, because we do have, it's not an SAP anymore, it's a union position. So that was part of the change that happened. It was already, we were unaware of it at the time, and so it is a union position, so that was one of the things. And then once we get the new meal site manager on and trained and acclimated to this center, then we'll look at what the needs are, and we'll go forward with that. We would like to have an evening meal for one thing we would definitely like to do. We'd also like to have meals every day. So it's going to be a matter of timing and the meal site manager and funding, because our meals are not funded right now. We have nothing in the budget for meals. Meals pay for themselves. So it's, it's some things to look at. So if we have these meals, and it costs more than we're charging, how are we funding that? So right now, like I said, we're kind of balancing it out, what we pay for a meal and what we spend for the meal. And some meals go over, some meals go under. So right now, we're kind of laying level. So, but we'll have to see what happens.
You can leave, but you're coming back.
I know. I know.
All right, the center hours, the new center.
I didn't think it'd be that soon. So for November, we had tried doing the longer hours in the summer on the evenings because it stays lighter longer. Now for November, we switched 2 hours on Monday, added the 2 to Friday. So it's just an even, like I said, instead of closing at 7, we close at 5 on Monday. Instead of noon, we close at 2. But even at that, we're still, when I started, we were at 38 hours we were open. We're now open 43 and a half. So we're still open more hours and covering that.
Terrific.
Thank you.
You're dismissed. Thank you. Okay, so next item is the holiday party. Do you want to have a holiday party this year? First of all, next would be our next December meeting. First question, do we want to have a party as we've always had? And secondly, I'm getting the impression from people, also myself, that the Yankees ornament swap has kind of had its day, And I would entertain motions to do something else. I think Jane had an idea on that. So first of all, do we want to have a holiday party at our next meeting?
Sure, I think
So,
so.
yeah. Okay. All right. So Jane had an idea instead of our holiday swap. And maybe you all have other ideas as well.
The idea that I had is, I'm wondering if we could put that money toward our food bank, you know, where things are kind of tight right now. And then somebody else had an idea, was it about, also, oh no, it was Deb, about possibly using it for, you know, when gift certificates for little things or for prizes. So those were the two things, and then anything else that anybody might.
I like the food bank idea very much. They are hurting, they do need support. And if we
Agreed.
make a donation collectively, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
How do you all feel about that?
I go along with that.
100%. And that could go on the Facebook page.
There you go. All right. So we will make, we'll have our regular
Lunch.
holiday lunch, and in lieu of a swap, we'll make donations to the food bag.
Should we do a sign up for food?
Yeah, that means we do that today.
Yes, I can do that. Okay. All right, see you later after the meeting. What you want to bring? All right, you guys are just the best. I love the giving spirit that we have here. All right, current business. We don't have a financial report,
I did include one in your packets just for you.
but you don't have to present today. Thank you. All right, the Caregiver Resource Connection, we have a third session
Tomorrow at 11:30. Keith, what's his last name?
Audit.
Keith Aubin is coming in. He's got his talk out over here, and he's bringing in lunch from Il Forno's.
Nice.
And Pauline is gonna do a robocall to all the people that came to the first or the second. We had different participation because the second one was in the evening, and people with caregiving to Alzheimer's, et cetera, patients tend not to be able to go out at that time because of sundowning, but we definitely wanted to offer at least one session for people who can't come during the day. So hopefully, we'll have a good turnout.
What's the time again?
11:30.
Thank you. All right, master plan review. I received another email from Kim Duffy, who is the head of master plan, wanting more input. So I decided we should give him more input. So what's out there right now is just, we want an assisted living facility, we want more tax relief for seniors, but I'm thinking, she's asking, let's give it to her. I'm thinking we should ask for support for the parking lot, support for more funding for staff, and support for funded meals.
I would add more walkable space,
More what?
walkable space.
Walkable space.
And that, when we were designing Marshall Park, the plans that we have, there was a huge focus on that, like, the benefits of people walking an average of 8,500 steps a day during their lifetime, it means longer lives, better lives. And there's so much data on that, and the state has proven that. But anyway, like, I used to see, we used to have a walking club here. I don't know if we still do, but it's not ideal in Lunenburg. We have a little bit of sidewalks in some areas. A lot of times you have to cross streets to, even go for more than a quarter of a mile. And it's a big thing, making that it's accessible for people to get somewhere, park, and go for a short walk that is ADA, compliant, that has restrooms, facilities. And, I mean, I truly see that as a very important public health need for everyone, and in particular seniors, people with limited mobility, and young parents. Like if you're a parent with multiple kids, you can't go to the lane for 2 hours, you know. So I believe very strongly in that. Like you need to invest on health. And I know you invest on taking care of when you're sick, or investing on health tends to yield better results.
Okay, great. I'm
Anybody
sorry, Deb,
else?
what was the first item?
Investing in our parking lot. We only have 2 handicap spaces in our parking lot here, 2, for all of our seniors. And that's not acceptable. So we need to get going on this parking lot. I know it's on one of the warrants for tonight, but we need help. Funding for our staff. We're relying too much on volunteers for even the front desk. And I know when we have kitchen staff that will ease, but still, we need the town to fund our building, our staff. And funded meals. Anyone else? We need, she keeps saying, comment. Well, what they've come up with is sadly neglectful, I think, of what our needs are, because it's been survey driven, and I don't think our seniors have really participated in what we actually need. So does anybody else have any ideas? I wanna give her back, not what's on the survey, but what we really need.
I would like to see caregiver support programs. I mean,
I think that's like more programs for, more funding.
Funding
programs.
for programs.
for example, caregiver support.
Yeah,
Okay.
for example, yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's not that I don't wish the library had this funds, but we have a little more than a third of the funding for programming that the library does.
Really?
And, yes, and I've been saying this before I joined the club here, and it's very different programs that we're serving different times of the day. Most of the programs at the library happens in the evenings, during the winter when our seniors are not getting out. What they're doing there is not what we would do here. Similar to what they do there is not what the teen center does. So we need to balance what we're doing for the community. I use this as an example. When we think of the community, we gotta think of elevating everyone, right? The years that we opened the primary, the library, the public safety building, then we went on to build the turf, the new high school. Meanwhile, the town had one playground in Wayland that fell in such disrepair that was literally it needed to be a dumpster had to come in several trips to clear that up, and took volunteers to donate most of the money to build a new playground. How can you say that we are, a wholesome community when we have the best brand new buildings for all that, and we can't keep kids safe in the most densely populated area of the town, in the playground? I don't think that's how we should do. The same thing between all the programs that we have in town. It should be balanced.
And unfortunately, there's a big misconception. People think everything is funded by the town.
Right.
They don't realize what you have to do to get the funds to have these programs, especially here. I think that was an eye-opener for me when I became involved.
Right.
And that is a big misconception. So what do? You publicize it? How do you get people to realize that?
I do want to commend Deborah for her collaboration with Muir. They've come up with some great programs together, but still the library is much more funded than we are. So congratulations for that. That's been some great strides in that regard. But we're still underfunded compared to the library.
And again, it's not that the libraries are overfunded, it's we're
No,
not
no,
funded
no.
enough.
Compared to them, we
Yeah.
are not as well funded.
Sorry, Jay.
One other thing that I thought of is, if we can't get an assisted living for a while, respite care, either in the home or, you know, at some point if we could find a place where, you know, if caregivers need time, which kind of goes along with the caregiver thing, you know, need to do errands or just need a break.
A respite care program, or that was
Yes,
funded?
that was funded, you know, and I don't know how that would, I don't know if other COAs or, you know, senior facilities do that, but, you know, there's a need for it, I just don't know how.
A funded respite care program?
Can I chime in?
Please come.
So as far as respite care, we wouldn't be able to do that here as the Council on Aging, but there are organizations that do respite care, and there is coverage with your Medicare to cover short-term, and there's even, I believe, 3 days that cover into a nursing home. So if you need to go to a wedding in California, you could have your loved one stay at, you know, the Highlands for 3 days. So there is information out there. I think the point is going to be to get that information to who needs to have it. And I think with the caregiver connection, I think we can start, you know, doing that on a regular basis and getting information out to the caregivers, you know, and putting it out on my Facebook, our Facebook's pages, and get that out there. And I loved when Kathy said about the, you know, putting it on your page. And that's great because it's not something that's on, you know, that's directly with the center, but it would be good on your page. So that's great stuff. I think you guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you.
And this is our last caregiver series for now.
Yes.
We plan on doing it again in the spring, but
Correct.
between now and the spring, that doesn't mean we do nothing. Maybe we could start talking about these things and getting the word out.
And
For that.
asking, what would you like us to have?
Yeah.
Right.
How would you like our next sessions to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can certainly talk about this at a meeting
Yes.
amongst us.
Okay, so anything else that you would like me to convey to the master plan? These are things that we need to make them aware that we want, not just surveys that went out to the public, but these are things that
How
need
about
to happen.
want and need?
I'm gonna say these are needs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between what I want and what I need.
These are things that need to happen, I think. And if, and we can vote on this because it's on the agenda. If you would like me to,
Okay, you make a motion since you have the list there.
well, somebody, I will read this list, if somebody wants to make a motion.
I think I wrote down what you said.
Okay. Funded meals, funded staff, parking lot, walkable space that's ADA compliant, funding for programs, and, for example, for caregiver support. These are things that we need to have.
All right. I move that we ask Deb to include, as well as the assisted living facility and the more tax relief for seniors, include funding for the parking lot, offering more meals, more walkability in town that's ADA compliant, and funding for programs like our Caregiver Connection.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Right, any opposed? All right, I will convey this to the master plan. Thank you. All right. Update on local hospital services. Does anybody have any more updates on that? I did see that they are moving forward with the Groton facility, but I didn't see any more timelines on that.
These supposed to be the end of 26, possibly the beginning of 27.
That's the last I heard.
But they were supposedly breaking ground in October, so that's what I
Yeah, I haven't heard
surmised, so
any
I haven't heard anything else.
more. Okay, furnishings for the lobby areas.
Okay. Jane and I and Deb met with the representative from Blockhouse Furniture. This is the company that provided the furniture for the library. And we've gotten 2 different quotes with 2 options. They both come in at $22,000 and change
22,000?
for everything, to do both sections, which sounds like a lot of money. But you're talking about furniture that's going to withstand someone that weighs 300 pounds, accessibility, washable. We're not going to Bob's Furniture and looking for furniture or even a nicer furniture store. This is furniture that meets standards for healthcare facilities, etc. So it's going to be more expensive. Deb has a gift grant,
Give fund.
a gift fund that has most of the money we need for this.
Really?
And with the revolving
Formula grant.
formula grant, we could make up the difference.
What is a gift fund?
What is a gift fund?
People that made donations, it was here when I got here.
For whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So
it's
this
money
is
that's been gifted to the senior center.
To the senior center that lives within the
Yeah,
town.
with,
Okay.
all right, and it's for it's for the LAAC use. So we could do this, we have the funding to do this, we have some options, Jane and I, basically it is gonna be, the tables will be 32-inch square tables with a heavy metal base, so they'll be very sturdy. It is for, how many tables? 4 tables. There will be 16 chairs. 14 of those 16 will have arms. 2 of them will not have arms, so that if somebody does not fit comfortably in the chair, they have an option to sit in another chair. It includes 5 lounge chairs and 2 different options of side tables. We'll have to figure out which one we want better. We have looked at fabrics.
Wow, we've been busy.
So we have these 2 choices, and
Or, like with the chairs, that would be with the tables, we would probably put this on the bottom and this
on the back.
On the back.
The floor has been chosen. It's going to be a teak, and this is a Bengal teak, so it won't match exactly, but it won't contrast either with the flooring.
Are the chairs comfortable?
Yes, the lounge chairs, they brought in a mobile showroom
Oh, wow.
like a month ago, and we got to sit in this furniture, and it was very comfortable because it was very important that someone could sit in it and not have their feet up off the floor. It's the right height, it's got the arms so that you can use them to get yourself in and out of. We tried to pick out ones that look more like living room furniture than institutional furniture. The big difference is the one with the rolled arms that's really is a little bit bigger. So we have to figure out, but we can definitely fit what we're planning on ordering. I have a sheet that shows what we're looking at. If anybody wants to look
Can
at
you
it,
pass
they're
it
welcome
around?
to. Sure. So you'll notice on the top one, there's like this square table that is smaller profile, so that it will accommodate the amount of chairs and the least space. And that one will have USB connectors on the front that you can plug in a charger if you want to.
Are they planning to run electricity on that?
You just plug it into the wall, it's not a big deal. It's gonna be up against the
Oh,
windows.
yeah,
It'll be
against the
against the
wall.
windows.
Oh,
It'll be
okay.
on the chairs that are in the back,
Okay, gotcha.
against the windows. The other chair,
Could you repeat that? I missed that, I'm sorry.
it's going to have, just like the library has, if you've been in the library in the teen room, it's about 1 foot wide, it's upholstered on the sides, it's got like a wood grain top, so this would be the top. And in the very front of it, there's like a little section this big that has like USB ports, so you can plug your chargers in. I don't know, everybody has a cell phone now pretty much, so they may or may not want that. If we didn't do the electricity, I don't think it would be a big deal either. But it's available on that one.
How does the space feel with 4 tables and 16 chairs?
It should work.
I mean, does it,
We've measured it out, we have the space.
Well, I guess my
The
question,
chairs are a little less, they're not as big as the ones we have, those
That's-
two that are in the arms, so that, and we can position them so it actually won't stick out as much. The one, as you come in the door, the first chair you come to kind of sticks out a little, and it can be a tripping hazard.
I was thinking of the corner there, like, because, I mean, I'm not a designer, and therefore, I'm not a designer. You know, the way the front of this building is being diagonal, and then you walk in, like, everything's sort of, you know, diagonal, right? It feels like there's two buildings making an L, and then there's this front here. So the space there is a little funny that way. So the entrance, that side door to the kitchen, would that be blocked?
No, that area is still gonna be tables and chairs, just like it is now.
Right.
It's just gonna free up her card tables, because right now we're using the plastic card tables right there.
No, I know. When I came in one day, I forgot what it was for, there were people in that room. The room, that space felt very busy.
I think you're talking about the tea. And
It
so
wasn't the tea there.
it wasn't,
That was
that's
a
a
different
different.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, I have not laid out the space. Is, you know, my thought was more like, instead of 4, does 3 make the space more?
But those tables are 36 inches, the card tables that are there now. These new tables are 32-inch square, so that's gonna give us a little more space to go around. And they are movable, so if you're gonna do a program in there, you can move them around a little bit. You could pull one out and around the corner if you wanted to.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So actually, it's gonna be less crowded than that.
Okay. And that was, you know, and then my thought was, maybe do we do less to keep the space feeling
But I think
cozy
if you
and
do less than 4
welcoming?
tables, we're defeating the purpose of making that a program area. We've run programs, several right now there.
So Kathy, those round tables, they're only 32 inches wide, right?
They're square.
The square, okay. So sometimes I've been in places where they have that center mount and they kind of rock back and forth.
We checked.
Okay.
They're the same tables as the library, except the libraries are 36 and we're going with 32. And we physically, for the most part, people are going to use the arms of the chairs.
Right,
It's
yeah.
going to be those 2 odd chairs, and some people just do this. We put all our weight and stood up, and they're very sturdy. They're like a cast iron base. Because we were concerned about that, so we brought that up to the representative, and she's been awesome.
But they are movable.
They are movable. You can pull them, yeah.
Sounds good.
So
How long to get them? Once
that,
they're-
I'm not sure. We need to, Jane's been sick. There's been a lot. She got us the fabric samples, and there is a huge bag full of fabric samples. And Jane and I sat down and took some choices. You know, we had 3 choices here, but we took the vote this morning that we like this one the best. If someone wants to look at the other ones, they're welcome to. And there were several different not flooring, but accent features.
And those aren't, the tops are not wood, they're
They're a laminate.
aluminum, so.
They're a laminate, but it's a solid. It's not gonna be like the old laminate countertops that peeled. It's not like that at all.
Thank you for all your work.
Thank you, so,
My goodness, you've been.
I don't,
So,
so,
if anybody wants to try out the chairs that go with the tables, they do have them in the teens
and I
section
know
of the
people
library.
sat in them and weren't sure they were all that comfortable, but I think anybody who's, right now they're sitting in these, and I don't think these are comfortable. They're definitely much more comfortable than that.
Yeah.
And they are the same chairs that are over in the library at the teen center. Please feel free to stop over and have a sit.
Thank you. Thank you for all that.
And the cushions in these other chairs, there's a key that comes with them that you push and turn it and the whole cushion can come out. They're specifically made so that the crumbs and stuff can't get down. It'll go all the way through and can be cleaned. These are all bleachable. If you bleach them, you need to re-rinse them afterwards because the bleach will break down this fabric. So as long as we take care of them properly, they should last.
So what is the next step?
Reach out to her and order it.
Order it, okay.
Just figure out the chairs.
Yeah, we have to choose the chairs. We have to decide if we want the rolled arm or the one with the wood on it. The wood was not uncomfortable, but we want to keep it as cozy. It depends. Do we want a little bit smaller profile, look a little less crowded, go with the one with the wood accents, which the wood accent would be this? Or do we want to go with the rolled? The difference in price, $22,899 for the rolled arms, $22,422 for the wood, and that includes 4 of these tables. With that other one, we might, after we get it in place, and we could get this anyway, go look for 2 small tables to go beside the 2 extra chairs.
I like the one with the roll.
The one with the rolled is nice, it looks more living roomy. And I think that's kind of what we're leaning toward, but we wanted to see the difference in price with the 2 options.
Okay. Okay, tri-board report follow-up. I think there were questions on that. I think that,
I was the one who had questions on that. I don't know if Deb had anything. If not, and I had sent the group my questions last meeting. If Deb doesn't have anything prepared, I'll be happy to maybe take offline and we can talk about it.
Yeah, we've done nothing with the tri-board report as of right now. I haven't met with Jen, she's been extremely busy. So we haven't met regarding the tri-board next meeting.
so I think the fact that we have a FinCom member here is, we should take advantage of that. And at some point, use her as a resource for whatever we want. So we'll do that at some point.
Yeah, so if maybe you and I can get them, offline, similar to how we did when we were presenting our budget last year, we talked.
Yep.
And that led to success on your presentation at the FinCom.
Yep.
I know when that presentation comes to the FinCom during budget season, my questions that I had for you are usually the FinCom questions type of thing.
Yeah.
So perhaps we can work on that together, and I did share with the group my questions that I had from your presentation, so everyone's aware of it.
Yeah.
But maybe we can work on getting to those.
I'd like to plan us meeting
Sure.
after I meet with Jen, so I can see what direction we're going in,
Okay,
and then we'll meet.
yeah, and when you meet with Jen, I would recommend bringing those questions so it frames, in ways that the FinCom is looking for. Okay, I'll wait for you to reach out.
We have an excellent resource here that we should take
Yes.
advantage of.
I had some questions on your questions.
I'll be happy to answer.
I am not a grant writer, I know nothing about grants, but my question is, how can we know today what grants would be available in 2027? I don't know how she could have predicted that.
Okay, so most grants, especially in this world of government, are repeated grants. And that's usually is a question that's asked and a lot. Like when we did Marshall, I had a whole presentation to town meeting and to the grants available and the grants that we could get, the maximum, the minimum, and we worked on it and we got it.
But that's because you had already assessed the needs and knew exactly what you wanted, correct?
Exactly. So the thing with grants usually is, and the town just 2 years ago, the town passed I think it was a $50,000 for a grant writer that didn't get used. And the town continues, when it comes to the FinCom, we continue to have this where if you're gonna tell us you're gonna get grants, give us the list of the grants available. So that's the first one. And those grants that information is usually available, like ARP has grants, the state has grants. That information is available. even private grants, they usually repeat it every year. And you give us the list. Because the easy thing to say about grant writers and the need for grants is that they usually pay for themselves. But until you have the list of the actual grants that are available, we don't
Do
really
we know
know.
now what's going to be available in 2027?
Most grants on this space are repeated year over year.
Okay, because I know a lot of grants will give you a grant if you can do matched funding. And
Yeah.
we don't have the funds for,
Well, actually, that actually helps on that conversation, right? If you, well, it does, because you know, when you start applying for this, all of these things are well communicated in town, they tend to be very successful. So if a grant is a matching fund, we know we're investing time in applying for this, kind of like the green communities grants. That's one that if we need equipment, especially in the kitchen, next time we should look on those. A lot of times the town needs to buy a certain amount, like our police cars, we get like, I think $10,000 back per car if we buy a hybrid. So all that information should be in a one pager. These are the grants available, these are the requirements. I'm happy to share the one that I did for Marshall. It was like 16 plus lines of what the grant is, what it required, matching funds, and so forth. And a lot of grants for us and other institutions like that support seniors, they are recurring. AARP has grants, recurring grants.
okay. Under your program review one, the program offerings overview, are you looking for something outside? Every month, Deb comes and gives her reports, goes over what programs we had offered in the last month and success of them and whatnot. And she goes through the whole calendar and tells us everything that's going on. Are we looking for something in addition to that?
So I'm looking for a report. We do get a monthly report from that, like you mentioned. But what I would hope to see when they're saying, you know, we want to add staff. So here's the base of that question. We're looking to add staff because we are maxed out on staff. So when you say that, you know, have we increased attendance?
And all that was in here.
Some of that is in there, attendance in details, and I did put in my request that was year over year between different time frame to see, because we changed times, we expanded, so, you know, has there been a growth?
Yeah, all right, that's, because like I said, a lot of that was in here, I thought.
Well, part of it is, but not to the, so has there been a growth of attendance? What is the growth of the attendance that we have that justifies an extra employee?
Okay. So there was a year-over-year trend data, FY21 to present. That's what you're looking for.
I was looking for, I think if you read my question, it has a time frame. And I don't have my question in front of me.
Quarter 4, 2024, and 2025.
Right.
And that's in here. It shows you what the two.
I don't have the report, I
Okay.
have it in hand.
All right. This is the tri-board report.
I don't have it with me.
Okay. All right. So that's what you were looking for. Okay.
I didn't think the data overlapped the way that I wanted, but like, I want to see growth year over year within the time frame that, you know, versus a calendar year or a fiscal year.
Okay.
Because we had changes, that's when we had staff changes, that's when we started changing the hours. We went from 38 to 43 and a half. I'm looking for analysis of those changes. How did those changes change in terms of services?
Okay. And as far as the structuring proposal, the role, I think, has been identified. The budget impact, I know Deb had told us 2 dietary aid positions have been eliminated.
Can I just back up for 1 second? At our last meeting, I did have some statistics, and we are, I believe it was 940 check-ins over the previous time frame from January to September. So those I can pull at like this, So any, like I
So
said,
maybe we can have.
I can
we
pull those
go
statistics.
over this stuff
Yep.
before your meeting with Jen.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay, 41A update, that was Jeff.
Are you done,
Oh,
Kathy?
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, from what I could tell from the numbers, within $100, it's the same amount of money.
Well, if that's the case, I don't think we need to eliminate staff. Like, if
Well,
we're not, hold on,
Okay.
okay. If we're looking to shift personnel, we can do that anytime, Deb can do that. At any time that she feels she's ready, she can do that, she's not changing the staff. That does not need to be attached to the budget. Now, if you do that during the budget, and then eliminate the position, now you're eliminating a position. So, my recommendation would have been, if you're looking to simply shift a position that has no budget impact, you don't need to bring this into a budget. But once you eliminate that position on the budget in town meeting, now you're tying your hands. So my recommendation would be, make these changes, add the position of assistant director to the SAP, let her live there, and if there's no budget impact, make those changes. But don't eliminate a change in town meeting floor on the budget.
But I think the 2 dietary aides would decrease because we now have a full-time staff manager and we don't need them. I thought that was, Deb, am I correct?
That one was for the, so creating positions in the SAP, you gotta create the positions and add them to, at the SAP and be part of the company, okay? Shifting how you manage your staff, that's not attached to town meeting. But if she's talking about creating a new position, 2 new positions, that does need to go into town meeting. You don't have to do these 2 things at the same time if there's no budget impact. And that would be my recommendation.
Okay.
To put things on the SAP, go through this whole bureaucratic process that she just had to go through with for the kitchen aid, which was a big process. Just do all of that. Everything else is her budget. She can move the money around as she please with the okay from the town manager. But once you go through the process of eliminating things in town meeting, you're tying yourself. And my recommendation would be, don't do that. What I would suggest to do is go through the process of creating these positions in the SAP and make the budget changes on their staff as you see fit when the time comes.
And the deployment plan will be whatever the town says you have to go through to hire a new position for that, correct?
So I think communication with staff is important. I think, having a good conversation about what we're doing, how we're doing, I think that's the deployment that I'm talking about. I don't think eliminating, if I'm one of the kitchen aides, I'm not sure, and I need that $10,000 a year, seeing that someone's gonna cut me and I don't know when, it will make me look for a job now. So I think the deployment plan and communication is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification. Anytime.
Okay, 41A, Jeff's not here, but Jane said that,
Not to put Pauline on the spot, but there has been more interest with the 41A people. Is that true?
Trying to think what you mean. I think there is a lot of interest in it.
Yeah.
Can you come here, because there were questions about this on the FinCom.
I don't know that I have the answers.
Okay, just so my neck doesn't hurt, and Shaquila can get you.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have the answers because I have not.
So one of the questions that came up on the FinCom about this was, how many people would be eligible possibly for this? And the qualifier for the 41A is the is it head of the household with an income of $71,000 or less, or not head of household? And the question is, do we know how many people qualify for that currently?
I don't have that data, I would assume that's in the assessors.
Okay. Do you,
I don't know that they would actually have the financial data of like which, they would know the housing ones as to like which houses, because there's a limit on the value of the house as well, if I'm correct.
I don't know if the 41A does.
Okay.
The 41A is just circuit breaker, but circuit breaker might have requirements related to us, you know, what you have. Because I'm just passing on information from the FinCom. The financial impact, the way this would be managed is, there's different ways to manage this financially, but I guess by law, anyone who will defer, that would come from the assessors have a reserve account for abatements and so forth. I think we learned a lot about it when there was that task fiasco in the lake. That's usually around, I think they keep it around 175,000, is that right, Lou?
This, what in particular is the 170?
The overlay account?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a money that gets budgeted every year. And the 41A will be paid from that. So the question that they had was, how many people could become eligible to receive this deferral? Because that would have a financial impact. And that's the question. So I don't know if
Can we defer that, or are you getting?
Yeah, I'm not sure that anyone has that data at
Or-
that point.
That's a Jack question.
that's the Jack's question, yeah.
you're-
Is he
this
gonna be
is-
there
this is-
tomorrow?
This is the
Tonight?
one on Jack's Lane.
What?
Is he gonna be there tonight?
No, he's in the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, he had surgery. I gotta go pick him up, actually.
Yeah, so I'm just.
Okay, let's defer this to when Jack is here.
Okay, director's report. And she's up again.
Getting my steps in.
You are.
Okay, so in your packet, I did just put in a little, some little bullet points, things that I just wanted to mention to everyone. Just going back since our last meeting, we had open enrollment, Medicare open enrollment, so that's ongoing till December 7th. We also have a nurse practitioner in Lunenburg, Lauren Perella, and she's going to be coming monthly and doing educations with us, healthy educations with us. She did one on healthy lifestyle choices as we age, and it was well attended. There was a lot of people out there. In January, she's coming to do mental health concerns as we age. So I'm hoping everybody will come to that. The Healing Herbs class was very well attended. It was in the evenings. We had a great group of going. They had more interest in the topic. So in March, we're going to do healthy tonics. So that's going to be in March. Caregiver Resource Connection, the last one we had in October was Advanced Directives with Bill from the Highlands. Also well attended, and that is on the public access television, so if anybody wants to see that information, it's on there. My favorite part of October was the Halloween-themed Memory Cafe. We had over 30 in attendance, and everyone, staff included, has such a great time. There's pictures on Facebook. The staff was actually the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. And our own tap dancers were our entertainers. So they performed, everybody loved it. They had such a great time. The tap dancers were amazing. And it went so well that we actually asked our line dancers to do our January Memory Cafe. So the line dancers will be our entertainment for January. November brought us to Mohegan Sun for their Christmas festival. They have over 40 vendors, and we had 10 people that went on that trip. We also have on local public access, we did a program on navigating hospice as a resource for caregivers, and so that is on there. Kathy and Jane attended that as well.
That would be a great one to do another,
Yeah.
learn at lunch if you would be willing to do it again. It
Oh,
was
absolutely.
very informative.
Absolutely. We did have 16 participants, that was our max, for cornucopias, floral arrangements. So the pictures are on Facebook for that too. We had 22 of our Queen fans headed up to Danversport for lunch and Absolute Queen tribute show. Our Veterans Breakfast, we had a special Veterans Breakfast. We gave them a little chachi as our thanks and thanked them for their service. We had 27 participants, 10 of which were veterans. Our caregiver resource for tomorrow, as we said earlier, is on Medicare, Medicaid, long-term care, things like that. So that is tomorrow. If anybody would like to come, you can still call up. El Forno is going to be catering it, so it'll be it's at 11:30 tomorrow. The Dull Men's Club, I hear rumors that Lou's going to run it this month,
Yeah.
unless Jack gets his
Let's check it.
stamina. So we have that coming up.
So let's hope for Jack's
Yeah,
speedy recovery.
there we go.
How's the Dulceman Club?
The Dull Men's Club,
How's your business?
they laugh like little schoolgirls for 2 hours. They're in there, and I don't know what they're talking about, but they are hysterical. You can hear them throughout the building. So it's going very, very well. And I actually offered them a bigger space, but they kind of like the cozy, intimate space that they have. So we'll see how that goes.
It's more of a secret society.
Secret Society. There you go.
Read letters?
And what a group. I mean, we're talking like, this is quite the group of men from all occupations, all ways of life, all everything. It's such a great collaboration of minds. Everyone from physicists to everything. So with that, this week is our Festival of Trees. Barbara is actually not able to make the meeting today, so I just wanted to let you know. Thursday from 3 to 5, we're going to set up all the trees here. We've got, I believe, 27 that are going to be in this dining room all set up, and we have a bake sale and we have a raffle table. So that'll be all set up, and then Friday from 9 to 5, people can come in, walk through, Christmas music playing, cocoa, bake sale, all that stuff. Saturday is actually Santa Claus is going to be here. We actually have a backdrop that is Santa's workshop, and we're going to have the chair in front of it, and we'll have Santa there. So, if you want to bring kids or grandkids or anybody, they can come get their pictures, or you want your picture with Santa, you can have yours. We're going to have Rob Ledoux is going to be playing guitar, so we'll have entertainment here. So Saturday's going to be great. And like I said, we have the beautiful thick blankets that are out there that are going to be raffled off on Saturday. All the trees will be raffled off on Saturday, all the gift baskets. So that'll all take place on Saturday. So we're really looking forward to it, and we're hoping it's going to be a very successful fundraiser for the Eagle House supporters. Also, in November, at the end of this month, we have fire safety with Olivia Hayes, our firefighter here in Lunenburg. And she's going to come talk not only winter safety with fires, but also falls. So winter seems to be a time where, you lose your footing, things like that. But also, too, you always have those, heater fires or electrical fires, things like that. So, it's good to know what you should not do and what, can help you keep safe. So she'll be here for that. And then in December, that's just an alarm. So in December, on December 10th, we have our Christmas party for here. So it's going to be in this room. We've actually had a senior couple has donated chair coverings, white chair coverings. We have gold bows to put on the white chair coverings. We have beautiful red tablecloths. We have Kathy Beal, her mom and them made some beautiful centerpieces. We have all kinds of stuff going on for our Christmas party. And also, too, Kathy's mom put together for our Festival of Trees reindeer food packets for the kids. So the kids will get,
Kids are busy at 94.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
oh my God.
She loves to help me do stuff, and I'm one, anything she can do, I make her do.
Good for you.
Yep.
She sat down with the diamond dots and did one of the diamond dots with me the other day. She loved it.
Perfect.
Good stuff.
That's
Kudos to
awesome.
Mom.
Also, when, like I said, with our collaboration with the library is amazing, but our collaboration with the club is also amazing. The three of us here have just formed a perfect trifecta. It's just been awesome. And the kids are coming down on Saturday as elves and things like that. So they'll be here as well, and we'll have some fake reindeers out front because nobody would get me real reindeers. So it's gonna be a great time, a lot of fun. And like I said, the Christmas party, we're gonna have the only catering out of Nashua, New Hampshire is gonna do their ultimate Italian buffet. So they're gonna start with minestrone soup. We have a deconstructed antipasto salad, so you can put whatever you want on it. Then we have chicken parm, eggplant parm, homemade meatballs, sausage with peppers and onions. We have some Italian pastries for dessert, apple crisp for dessert. So it's gonna be a great time. We have Ryan Proctor is going to be playing the piano for us during dinner. And then we have Sean Fullerton as entertainment after dinner. So it's going to be a great night.
How did you score a Brian Proctor?
He's gonna do the Christmas party for a little while.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, I love, totally side note, but I just want to say things that I love, okay? There is a big conversation in the world about how do we make our societies not to be so divided. And one thing they start to talk a lot about is national service programs where people go and volunteer, and it's so wonderful to hear of the teen center coming in, because that's really they now know what it is to, for the people that are here. And the people that are here now see the fruits of the next generation. It's just so wonderful. I just love that.
You just reminded me of something else.
Oh my God.
So the teen center, so we were gifted 100 yellow tulip bulbs from Emerson Hospital as part of their mental health awareness. And the teens planted them for us. So they're over on the side yard. And in the spring, there's a sign that we'll put out, has a QR code for more information, and hopefully we'll have a whole garden of yellow tulips out there that they planted.
And that's thanks to the teen center. That's
Yeah.
right next door.
So that's a lot of fun.
I love that.
Also, the Historical Society, they're a lot of fun too. They're a lot of information. I love history. They're going to come do on December 12th at 1 o'clock. Mary Surratt. I don't know if that's Surratt. She, her execution. It's a talk about her execution. So, like I said, I think that'll be real interesting because, how things were at that time.
Lincoln's staying away from that.
Yeah? On the 12/8,
Cheer it on.
there you go. On 12/18, we have our luncheon here. So that's a little more comfy, cozy, family-oriented kind of thing. So our luncheon here is going to be a beautiful ham dinner. And this is our luncheon that JP Keating? PJ Keating? Okay. I wasn't sure which one first. PJ Keating brings us beautiful stockings filled with gifts for those who attend. So they'll be here for that. And also the Festival of Trees has brought together the community like crazy. We've got, the Girl Scouts have a tree, the meadow has a tree. I mean, all these groups and people around town have all come together with these trees. So it's been a real community pulling everybody together event, which I thought was great. After our luncheon on the 18th, it is our ugly sweater contest. So come with your ugliest sweater and, maybe you'll win. The Memory Cafe for December was moved up a week because of the holidays. So just so everyone knows, it is on the 19th of December. And then on the 23rd, we're going to have our Christmas caroling with cookies and cocoa at noon. And then I look forward to January because I really want the end of year statistics for now. Because where I started on December 27th, January to December is going to give me a full year of statistics on what works, what didn't work. So I'm really eager I'm a numbers girl, so I really am looking forward to looking at those. So, and that is my report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yep.
Back to the Festival of Trees, do you need us to bring extension cords?
If you have any, but I would definitely put masking tape with your name on it so you get it back.
Okay.
We do have some, but I think we could use more.
Okay.
Chris Ruth might have some extension cords and
Okay.
stuff. And that he might be able to help you.
Okay, I'll ask him. And Lou?
Yeah, I'm looking at these trips.
Oh!
Now, What are these page numbers? Like it says like.
So we have a book from Best of Times Travel.
Okay.
They're the travel agency that we use for our extended trips or longer day trips. Some of our trips are our own, like we're gonna be going to the winery in New Hampshire. I forget the name. LaBelle. That's our trip, so we'll take care of everything with that. Best of Times, they're doing the Boston to Bermuda, they're doing some of the shows that we can't book ourselves. Like Queen was through Best of Times, we couldn't book that ourselves. So,
They're
yeah.
not doing an Iron Maiden, are they? They're doing
If one comes up, I'll let you know, I'll let you know. So, but yeah, we have a lot of trips coming up in the future that we're really excited about. We actually have, one of the trips we're gonna be doing is the tall ships, and we get to go out on a boat to see the tall ships. So, yeah.
So
Yeah,
how
that's
it works,
really good,
you have a van that comes here, picks up the seniors, how big of a? I think-
55 passenger coach bus. They went to Queen this week. It was a brand new 1-year-old Wilson bus. Picked us up and picked up Groton, and we went out.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
so there's a limited number of communities that partake in this?
Nope, Best of Times is throughout the whole area. They just try to match you. If we don't fill the bus, they try to match you up with somebody close by to fill the rest of the bus.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so we match with different ones in this area.
That's
So, yep, thank you.
The Dutch country one looks familiar. I mean, looks interesting. It brings me back to childhood when I was growing up in New Jersey and I went through my whole Amish phase.
Yes. Would you like to relive that?
I would love pictures.
My whole Amish phase, you know. I was torn between Staten Island and the Amish.
Okay, well, we don't have a representative from the Eagle House supporters, but I would like to publicly thank them for this wonderful idea of the Festival of Trees, and apparently it is phenomenally successful so far, so can't wait to see it. So thank you to the Eagle House supporters for that wonderful idea. Any notes or communications? Okay. Any more board comment?
Town meetings tonight, there are a lot of things there that we like to think that government doesn't really play a role in our lives, but it does, especially local government. Please come out and vote, and vote to what you believe should be done. Including the Form 1A, it's not just that's on the agenda for tonight.
Any other comments? I want to thank this board for being so proactive, so much a part of the community, and for all the work everybody does. Thank you so much. This is a pleasure to be on this board. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See you in December.
Don't forget, we're decorating the tree if anybody can stay.